Good morning. Sergeant First Class Reginald Knight, retired, reporting. There is growing fear of all of these boat attacks in the Caribbean, led by Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth. And the question was, are these boat attacks legal? And are they war crimes? I'll answer the second first. Technically, no, they're not war crimes because we are not at war. But are they illegal? Indeed, they are. Under U.S. law and international law. Let me get to the international law first. And I'm going to read what I pulled up from the manual yesterday. The widely accepted standard for arbitrariness prohibits the use of force likely to cause death or grievous bodily injury, except in self-defense or defense of others against an imminent threat of death or serious injury to prevent the perpetration of a particular serious crime involving grave threat to life, to arrest a person presenting such a danger and resisting their authority or prevent his or her escape. And only when you don't have any other means to do so. That's the international law. And it is set in stone, and it was agreed to by the U.S. government. Now, I told you yesterday that when you go on an Army base, Air Force base, Marines, whatever, it is its own city within itself, with its own rules, laws, mores, codes of conduct. I pulled up the manual for war from the Department of Defense. It was written in 2015, and it specifically states that if you have an adversary, a vessel, and you have incapacitated that vessel, and you have survivors that are floating in the water, you are not to fire upon them on any circumstance. You are to retrieve them, secure them, and bring them back to shore where they can be processed and prosecuted if need be under DOD rules. But Pete Hegseth didn't do that. And the admiral that was in charge of those SEAL members who perpetrated this strike will come under scrutiny, if not charges. Now, as I was reading these regulations, and they can be tedious, the thought occurred to me, and I want you guys to just let this ruminate. Haven't we seen this before in Europe? Haven't we seen this with Vladimir Putin in Ukraine, cutting off airspace, unaliving people just because? Because, see, there's no reason for them to fire upon Venezuela and say they're trying to fight drugs, because Trump just released the former Honduran president who was serving a 45-year sentence for drugs, and he's back in Honduras now. Who wants to bet $1 that the next migrants, illegal immigrants, whatever you want to call them, end up at some hellhole in Honduras? No, this is a bigger scheme, and not trying to trivialize it, but this reads like Star Wars, where you have to have two Siths. We know that Putin is one, and Donald Trump in his copycat ways is trying to be number two. There is no reason for these strikes to be occurring. They are illegal, inherently illegal. And now the Senate Judiciary Committee has decided to look into it. And I expect very soon The Hague to be giving Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump a call. Because even though those individuals, those SEAL members, actually did the dirty deed, This is a classic and prime example when a military member is given an unlawful order that they are not to obey it. Because now they are going to reap the whirlwind of their actions. And they can't say, oh, I was ordered to do it. We heard that in Nuremberg many years ago, and that didn't fly either. Sergeant First Class Reginald Knight, retired, reporting. Have a good day.